Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk all about a relatively new skin tightening procedure called microcoring. I'm going to go into detail as to what exactly this does, how it works, and how it differs from procedures like microneedling and a facelift. But before getting into the video, I want to take a moment to thank today's video sponsors, Sleep & Glow. Y'all know I am a huge fan of the Sleep & Glow pillow. I cannot sleep as well without it. I've got actually both of their pillows, the Owla pillow and the Omnia pillow, and they're both amazing. As a matter of fact, when I travel, I really notice a huge difference in the quality of my sleep. This pillow has been a game changer, not only for my sleep quality, but when I wake up, I have far less morning puffiness and I don't have those sleep creases on my face. If you're not familiar with this pillow, it was designed in collaboration with orthopedists to support your shoulder girdle, your neck, and the sides of your face. It's got these convexities and concavities that nicely cradle your face, especially if you're a side sleeper, to reduce twisting and frictional forces that can lead to not only skin irritation, but worsening of morning puffiness, plus those nuisance sleep creases. Yeah, as I said, for me it's made a huge difference, not only in the quality of sleep that I get, but just how I look when I wake up in the morning. I look a lot more refreshed. It's made with high quality memory foam, so it molds to the shape of your neck, your shoulder girdle, and the sides of your face. The pillow also comes with an internal foam layer that you can add to adjust the height of the pillow. Specially designed anatomic shape really supports a good night of sleep, and that in and of itself makes a huge difference in the health of your skin and good quality sleep. So it's much different from your garden variety pillow, not only because of the shape of it is going to help in reducing those twisting forces on the skin, but it is made to last substantially longer. Your regular pillow, like your polyester pillow, only lasts 1 year at the most, and then it starts to lose its support. The Sleep & Glow pillow, it's an upfront investment, but it's gonna last you 5 years. And they actually offer a 30-night sleep trial, so if you're not completely satisfied, you can get your money back. And they offer 4 interest-free sezzle payment option as well. So I've been sleeping with the Omnia pillow for a couple of years now, but I think it was a year ago they came out with the new Owla pillow, and this one I also love, but it is especially a game changer for those of you who are interested in trying to train yourself to sleep on your back. The advantage of sleeping on your back is that it reduces creasing not only on your face but also on your chest. If you're a side sleeper, you can get those chest creases. Anyways, if you're trying to train yourself to sleep on your back, check this pillow out because it's got these nice side bolsters that kind of keep your head in place comfortably, and the shape of the pillow really allows for your neck muscles to relax so that you can sleep comfortably on your back. I trained myself to sleep on my back several years ago, but I still love this pillow because it's almost like a, I don't know, like a comforting embrace. It is an upfront investment, but as I said, it will last you a lot longer, and it's unique from a garden variety pillow by the virtue of the nature in which it supports your face as you sleep to reduce morning puffiness and those sleep creases. If you're interested in checking out one of these pillows, use my code DRAY10. It will save you $10 off Sleep & Glow. Microcoring is otherwise known as micro-excisional skin removal. This is a, like I said, relatively new aesthetic treatment. It was actually developed by a dermatologist and plastic surgeon at Mass General Hospital, and it is a proprietary technology to the company Relish. It involves making tiny little punches in the skin using an energy-free needling device. And these little punches are kind of similar in principle to a punch biopsy if you've ever had one, basically like a little cookie cutter. But they're very small, less than 0.5 millimeter in diameter. So it makes 10 to 12,000 little tiny punches across the skin, and it's used on the lower face, like the cheeks, the jowl area, under the chin. What it's doing is it's removing up to 8% of the skin, and what that does is it has a tightening effect, but it also stimulates collagen production and elastin production. So the end result is skin tightening and subtle, soft improvement in fine lines and wrinkles through induction of collagen synthesis. The nice thing about this is it is completely scarless. Because this device is removing such a tiny little circle of tissue, it is scarless. In fact, when you look microscopically, there is zero evidence of any scar going on. In between these little micro cores or micro holes that are made, there are bridges of normal skin, and with the healing process, you then get a tightening effect, and then deep down you have stimulation of collagen and elastin production that's going to smooth things out and give a subtle tightening effect, improving the appearance of laxity. This is non-surgical skin tightening, so it differs from a facelift in that all that's being removed is tiny little circles of skin, very, very tiny. Whereas with a facelift, you are actually repositioning the underlying muscle tissue. So in contrast to a facelift, this isn't actually addressing the anchoring supportive framework underneath the skin. It's just giving a very subtle tightening effect by addressing the skin itself, nothing deep down. And again, because the tissue being removed is so tiny, there's no scarring. And in contrast to a laser, there's no energy that is utilized for this, and therefore there's no heat being generated in the deeper layers of the skin. So in theory, it makes it less risky for hyperpigmentation in comparison to an energy-based device where you have to be careful, especially in deeper skin tones, of hyperpigmentation. How does this differ from just getting filler placed? With filler being placed, basically what you're doing is replacing volume. But in contrast, microcoring has a tightening effect. Filler doesn't address laxity, whereas this new technique can. How does this differ from microneedling? In contrast to microneedling, you're actually removing skin here. You're actually removing tissue. Microneedling just makes a puncture, whereas this is taking a series of little tiny cookie cutter hollows out of the skin, actually removing skin. So that's how they differ. With microneedling, the needle is not hollow, so there's no core being drilled down and tissue being removed. With the needle, it's just a pierce, but here you're actually removing a little tiny column of skin. One benefit of this procedure is that it has a relatively short downtime. It takes about roughly 3 days to recover from the procedure. Is it painful? Yes. In fact, nerve blocks using lidocaine and epinephrine are used to numb the area, and that that makes it not an issue, but yeah, otherwise it can be very painful. It's important to point out though, this treatment, because it's relatively new, it's only FDA approved for treatment of the face, specifically the lower face is where it's used, like the cheeks, the jowl area, the chin. So it is an ideal treatment for somebody who has a little bit of laxity in these areas. How many treatments do you need? That's going to depend on the extent of laxity that you have. If you have very mild laxity, you may be able to get away with just one treatment, whereas if you have more moderate to severe laxity, multiple treatments may be needed. Now, it takes about 3 months to see the optimal results. But if you are getting multiple treatments, the treatments should be spaced roughly 6 weeks from one another. Who is the ideal candidate for considering microcoring? It's going to be somebody in their younger years who maybe just has a little bit of the beginnings of laxity, not quite a candidate or ready to commit to a facelift, or maybe just not able to deal with the downtime associated with a more involved energy-based device. It's really best suited for people who have just, a bit of laxity in the lower face and are young enough that they still make really good collagen, so they're going to get that benefit of stimulating collagen and elastin that ultimately can smooth out fine lines and wrinkles as well. Can be used to the cheeks, around the mouth, and the jowl area. So this is something where if you have the very beginnings of, say, marionette's lines, this might be something that you want to pursue. In contrast to a laser, there's no energy being delivered to the skin here. So in theory, because there's no energy being delivered and there's no heat being generated, it is a lower risk for hyperpigmentation. However, it's important to realize that the studies done on this device have only looked at skin types 1 through 4. So we don't know to what extent it is as safe for deeper skin tones, Fitzpatrick phototype 5 and 6. But in theory, it should be okay. But more experience and more research is needed to really definitively say it is or is not a good choice for those skin tones. So if you're interested in this, maybe you have some laxity, I suggest seeking out a board-certified dermatologist who actually has it in their office and has experience using it. And you can discuss with them if you are a candidate for this type of procedure. This video is really just meant for informational purposes, but definitely seek out a board certified dermatologist who actually has experience using this to know if you are a good candidate for it or not. And again, it is only FDA approved for use on the face. Only time will tell to what extent this ends up being helpful for laxity on the body, like the arms, for example. That is microcoring. It is different from microneedling in that it basically involves removing little tiny pieces of skin. Ultimately, that has a skin tightening effect. Not the same as a facelift in that there's no repositioning of the underlying musculature, but it definitely shows a lot of promise, and more experience and more research is needed to address some of these unknowns in terms of microcoring, but it definitely shows a lot of promise as an additional tool in the aesthetic armamentarium. So let me know in the comments if this is something that you have sought out. Have you had this treatment? Again, it is pretty new, but let us know if you have had it and what your experience was. Don't forget to check out Sleep and Glow and definitely use my code to save. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.